law for mankind. And that's why there was such a big thing at the airports. Because they're saying that for you to ban anybody goes against the very values of what make America. Right. America is a place that welcomes humanity to come and find its sense of direction and excellence more than any other place on this earth. We are that nation that invites humanity, and then what does it say on the Statue of Liberty? So send us your tired and your poor, those yearning to be free. Your humble masters, right? So now, our language, that's why I say, our language is such that when those who stand up and claim to be representing, they always come in the name of we the best, or we patriots, this and that. Well, how can you be patriots if you're going against the very language and spirit of the Constitution?
Yeah.
All right? So to establish this, and I told my daughter to focus on this, because, see, this is where the legal community comes in. See, what most people don't realize, Republicans are big on justice. Mm-hmm. Democrats are big on freedoms. Mm-hmm. But they want to be able to, you're free to do whatever you want. Freedom without checks. So this established justice at a Harvard Law School. They had a big conference on different scriptures and on justice, and they agreed to put it on put a big banner with this particular ayah. I think I told you about this before. Mm-hmm. This particular ayah, Surah Nisa, verse 135. My daughter said, when I brought this to the Muslims, these are lawyers now, I tell you, but the problem is with many of our professional people, they get a professional degree and lose the Islamic knowledge if they ever had it. So if they're Muslims, it's why, in name only. So she said she was the first one, let me actually put it, she was the first one to even quote the Quran. She was the last speaker. Once she spoke, once she finished speaking, everyone, all the questions from the panelists were directed to her.
And they were all Muslim speakers.
All Muslim speakers, yes, all Muslim speakers. Mm-hmm. They were all Muslim speakers. Where is it now? Where she said, I'm telling you something happened last night. It's very, very important. She said all the Muslim speakers, but none of them came from the Quran. So the advice that we gave us to just, come from the Quran and guide the discussion, the legal discussion. So my point though is that she was the only one. Oh, here it was. She says, today as I was, she said in her mouth, she says, today as I was preparing to come speak, I didn't know what I would say. So I spoke with my father. He said, Raheem, you all are Muslim lawyers, Muslims and lawyers. You all equipped with the Quran and have knowledge of the principles of the U.S. Constitution. Then I mentioned the Qur'anic verses that you told me. And I spoke the importance of, he says, that everyone starts saying, he says that, that's right, since we should, we stick without, I should put it, everyone got on the defensive and started talking about they need to be more educated in Islam. That's what that right here. So my point is that you and I have an advantage. Now, we're not Harvard educated or Yale or Georgetown and the big law schools, but we got the Quran. Mm-hmm. And if we can do now you're not doing this type of analytical study of the sacred documents of America, what we've did over the last 30 years or so, but you're getting the benefit of it. But today, more than ever, you got to be able to articulate this. You got to articulate this, and I think we sent Salam on a mission. That's all I'm going to tell you. What you tell them what you do 3 weeks ago.
Assalamu alaikum. A couple of weeks ago, I was invited to sit with, it's called the Circle of Friends, sponsored by Jewish Men of Industry. And the meeting was an exclusive meeting only for men who were Jewish and the invitees who were Muslims. and they came to an agreement that this relationship is a marriage. It's a marriage for social justice, for improvement in the relationships between Muslims and Jews, but also to show the benefits of these two great religions coming together, working together, and making demonstrations of human excellence. And these are, I might have been the poorest person in the room financially. You're talking about the head of Parkway Parking, which is all over the country. Remember, if you own a parking lot, you never have to buy any goods to go on the shelf like you do in the store. Right. You know, it's just constant money. And he was the most enthusiastic of all of them, even though all of them was very enthusiastic. And him and I have a meeting coming up next week, and we're talking about looking at, I suggested that we look at tackling one or two of the schools in the inner city and using our resources in industry to tackle a class. And I had Imam Muhammad Abdul class in mind because I've been working with them, and I got them very attentive to what I'm saying. But that's spirit, but spirit without matter is like hopping on one leg. So if we could, I was saying, focus on a year-long program where we're talking about industry and the human sciences, and be able to take a bus and bring them to, if I'm building 100 houses at 19th and Thompson, why not let them walk the site? Why not let them see, touch, smell with all their 5 senses? Why not educate them about all the different careers? What's the pay scale, etc. But at the same time, as you are appealing to their creature comforts, you also have the beautiful time to lay down wisdom. You know, now you're fishing in the city, like Jesus said, come out the pool of lamentation and try to catch men in science and math and the human sciences, you see? So they love that. So they ready to go. Matter of fact, the next day I was getting texts from them saying, okay, let's go. You have a couple Muslim brothers who are, I'm the only African-American Muslim that was there, but they had maybe 5 other Muslim brothers there. One was an imam, and 2 of the brothers, they're lawyers, they're Muslims that work for Ballot Spa, #1 law firm in Philadelphia. That's where Imam Abdul-Alim's daughter was stolen from by Barack Obama to come down to Washington, D.C. She was working for Ballot Spa, just to show you what kind of resources we've had here and what Allah has blessed us with. And I'm telling you, they're very excited about doing some things. And the meetings are going, our next meeting is next month. We just had a meeting in the end of January. We're going to meet again in March. We're going to meet again in May. We're going to meet again in July. And they don't want that great distance of space in between because they want to accomplish something. So I tell you, it was very inspiring because you have some folks who are learned, understand religion, and I spoke in the terms of saying that there's nobody in this room who's a gentleman. You know, because sometimes, you know, you have to just show folks how well you are versed in religion, you know. Because I see so many Muslims calling each other gentlemen, you know, and we're not gentlemen. That was a name that were given by the Jews to the folks who couldn't control their gene nature, and so they called them Gentiles, you know, and I said we're all Semitic, and then that also takes away this exclusivity that the Jews are always promoting, that they're the only Semitic folks. No, you're not. Matter of fact, we were first, you know, in that term. So, you know, when you get a chance and you're around men, and you don't have to come all the way down in your knowledge just to show, you know, some commonality. You know, I could stay up there where Imam Muhammad, Imam Abdul-Alim has taught us over the years, and be able to share some of the things, you know, that we really need to do. So,
Salam, before you close out, could you mention about the definition of Muslim? How you use that?
oh yes, and because what happened, one of the Arab brothers wanted to make a distinction about the religion and not having the kind of understanding that whatever Allah gave Muhammad the Prophet was universal conceptually. And so therefore when he finished, there was a clear delineation between Islam and Judaism. And I went to say, okay, look here, this is my time. I said, look, let's look at the term Muslim. I said, because it was a revelation given to Muhammad the Prophet after the stench and stigma that was placed on man by the interpolation of the Christian Bible saying that man was born in sin. I said, so the revelation comes to Muhammad the Prophet to lift this heavy burden, this yoke off his back, and say that everybody is born a Muslim. And I said, and so nobody here had a kufi on or anything. I said, so it must be something that is an endowment, as a hereditary property, something that you were born with. So Imam Muhammad explained to us that revelation, that insight that Imam Prophet Muhammad had, is talking about the original unspoiled nature that every human being is born with, and that we all have it, and it's given to every baby and given to guardians to watch that process, called parents. And you keep that process pure and educated, and it will speak intelligently in the cradle as it will as a grown man. And man, they loved it. So
and just brought everybody together. But everybody, everybody, you feel
right.
the tension go out of the room.
Yeah, so we don't want to make, when we get a chance to win friends and influence people, we're not drawing a hard line in the sand about who we are in that sense. Because we first Muslim. We're human. You understand? And we're people, and everything comes on top of that. So I'm just excited about it. And I'm telling you, these guys can make it happen. They have the wherewithal. The head of Vice President Temple was there. Joe Kaczynski is the head of Parkway. We had dinner. He hosted it. In his office, he had an office, but the front part of the office is big as this room, and is shaped in a lagoon. The rocks of a lagoon, you put a lagoon. Lagoon is made like Mother Nature, you know what I mean? It's these stones just put together, and it goes like this, and it's filled up with koi fish, nothing but koi fish, and he's a connoisseur of koi fish. He loves it. He even flies to Japan. Japan is world known for koi fish. Well, everybody else was eating, and I want to know. I come from streets where, it's like trying to grow a garden on cement. Ain't nothing but asphalt in the ghetto. So here's some water and some fish, and Jesus talking about, fishing in the lake and all that. So I walked to him, who mentioned about it and pointed it to us, and how he was a authority on it. And I stood beside him, and he taught me so much within about 10 minutes. And he had fish in there that was worth $250,000, And but he is a generous man. He's an older man, and he said to the Muslim brother, I told you this. He said to the Muslim brother, who is somewhere above Bucks County, and he is a trader of Arabian horses. So he said, wow. He said, so you got a farm up there? He said, oh yeah, we got a big farm up there, and we raise them, and top of the line, and we get them. I mean, he went into it too, because it was just three of us standing right there by the koi pond. He said, well, wow, man. He said, I wish that you were closer, because we have a farm over here that we've had under our jurisdiction, and we own it. He said, I'd like to give it to you. He said, wow, I'd like to take it, but I can't because it's too far. This was in the room. I wonder, get me.
I'm going to give you some background.